Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Outlawed Picks Podcast. Hi. We're going to talk about UFC 277 today. Do you want to talk about anything about UFC London? Do you want to tell me your highlight moment?
I mean, the Paddy and Molly finishes. You have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, their post-fight, not only the interview that got a lot of views from Paddy, it was also a really nice message, a really nice thing for him to say, especially after everything leading up to the fight between, what they were going to do after. So I found that to be quite lovely. Very sad for her, for everybody affected in that. It's something very hard to hear, and I wish they would have not told him until after.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because
yeah.
I mean, the position he's in. Nobody, it's like, it's well known. I don't think you should tell him that right before he's going to be in a high stressful situation. But
yeah, it's just,
we don't know how it came about anyway.
Yeah, of course. Ian Freeman was just about to fight Frank Mir at the very first UFC London, and he lost his dad the day before, and they didn't tell him until afterwards. Oh. Yeah, it's just difficult to carry heavy things into a fight with you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether you want to know or not is a question, but I don't know. Yeah, I thought he handled it well. And it's even more impressive when you see a win like that, and then kind of what was on his shoulders going into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was very impressed, and I was very disappointed for Tom. He's going to be out for a while, isn't he? It looks like he's going to have a surgery.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
I felt... Okay, that meme, he did laugh at it too, and I felt really
He did?
bad.
Oh, yeah, the Peter Griffin one. Yeah, that was funny.
I saw it on the night, and I laughed, and I was like, oh, you're horrible. What's wrong with you? And then Jamie sent it, and then I was like, dude, that's
We're
bad.
both horrible.
Yeah.
We're both horrible.
But then I saw a picture of him laughing at it, so that made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Another injury. But I would classify this one as an injury, obviously, because even as he went down, the punches that Curtis Blade threw, they didn't land.
But it's counted as a TKO for Curtis.
Yeah, but like, what do you just...
I don't know. I mean...
What do you count it as?
I don't know. I mean...
You've won by freak accident?
Well, the thing is, the argument that you make is that he walked into the octagon without the injury, and the injury happened during the fight, Like... These things happen, Like, do you remember when Tom fought on Cage Warriors? He was fighting Sofian Bukachu. I can't remember which Cage Warriors it was. But Jamie's got a nasty video clip of it, haven't you, Jamie?
Yeah, slow motion.
Yeah, the leg break, and that was a TKO for Tom, and that was it was the same as the Anderson Silva Chris Weidman one, and that's like,
Yeah, but that was a check.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Tom threw the kick, didn't he? Everyone that breaks their leg pretty much during a low kick exchange is the one that's throwing the kick.
Yeah, that's true. But I just felt like he broke it when it landed, so it wasn't on impact.
What, is that his knee?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's the question, isn't it? Because like he threw the low kick and it twisted as he threw it, and it could have been that, There was what was the fight I was watching the other day? I was researching for the PFL, and it was it's escaping me who it was now. But there was it's Kyle Bochniak. His knee went out, and it was during a wrestling exchange. His opponent grabbed his knee. Chris Wade grabbed his knee and like pulled down hard on it and damaged his knee in that exchange. And then as soon as they were back standing, he couldn't quite put weight on it properly. And then Wade knocked him out with a head kick. And that injury was down to the fact that he'd shot on it and tried to run the pipe as Bochniak turned his leg out.
Yeah.
It you know what I mean?
But I would count that as
yeah. I mean, obviously that wasn't the end of the fight, but
yeah. But just the fact that caused damage, it was between action. It was like action was going on, and that caused it. It wasn't something that, sometimes you're walking and you twist your ankle. And you just...
Yeah, but you make the same argument for Tom. Like, he was in the fight, he threw a kick.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that he didn't lose the fight.
Yeah, I know, but...
I'm just saying that it's saying TKO sounds a little bit...
Like he got beaten, and he didn't.
Like he got, ground and pounded a lot. And it's just a bit misleading. I just think there should be a separate category for that.
The good thing, the thing is, if it happens in the UFC, though, at least most people kind of know the story.
Yeah.
Like, people will look at that on Tom's record and go, oh, that was the time when his knee went out. Mm-hmm. You know, like people won't look at Chris Weidman's record and go, oh, you know, he TKO'd Anderson Silva twice. You know, the second one, people will go, that was the leg break.
Yes.
You know, so I think it's easier when it's in the UFC and there's a storyline attached to it. I don't think it's gonna harm Tom aside from the time he's gonna take out.
Yeah, that almost kind of gives him, because the fight didn't last at all, like didn't last long. It almost kind of gives him a no contest in the eyes of the UFC and the fans. Yeah, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's not going to slow him down. It's not going to count against him as a loss. Definitely not. The UFC will move him on to something coming off, you know, against somebody that's coming off a win.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Shall we get into the prelims of 277?
Yes, let's get into the prelims.
Okay. All right. So the first fight I have on the card is Orion Cosce against Blood Diamond.
Yes.
Blood Diamond. What's his name? Mateus?
Mateus. Oh,
Matt something.
Yeah,
There's lots of M's and T's and.
But when he fights in the UFC, yes,
Mathetha?
That's something like that.
Mathetha?
Yes.
I don't know, something like that.
When he fights in the UFC, he is Blood Diamond though, which is pretty awesome.
Do you think that should be a thing? People should be allowed to just have their nickname on the shorts, like pro wrestlers.
I think if you want to, you can be called whatever you want.
But the thing is, I wonder if he's legally changed his name, because War Machine did. John Copenhagen.
That was the one I was thinking about, but I was like, I can't remember what the name is. So.
Yeah, he legally changed his name to War Machine, but that was because I think he got like a cease and desist from the WWE because they had a wrestler who was trademarked as War Machine, and because he was using a nickname as well, they were like, "You better stop," and he was like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna do what I like. I'm gonna change my name." And I mean, he did a lot of "fuck you, I'm gonna do what I like," and it's unfortunately ended up in prison. But
well, that's what happens.
Yeah. But he was War Machine, I think, like officially.
Yeah, I don't know if he's Blood Diamond officially, but yeah.
Mike Blood Diamond is what his topology is. Oh, here we go. Mike Mathetha.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm horrible with names. So
he had a rough debut, didn't he?
He did.
Like, there was a lot of high expectations for him coming in because of his camp and his affiliation and,
how great he is at kickboxing. His abilities and striking was phenomenal. And having so many people in the team as well there. Which,
a lot of pressure. Yeah.
And especially because it's UFC and people don't give enough of that into account. Like, they don't take that into account. Because UFC debut, and even if you fought kickboxing a whole bunch of time, the promotion and the media around it isn't the same. And if you're starting off on a pay-per-view card, that's rough, you know.
I mean, you got to think as well. Like, so he was. What was his record coming in? He was 3-0, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. And then he gets Jeremiah Wells, who's 9-2. Like that's a tough fight to come in as. And I don't think this one's any easier either. He's got Cosce, who's 7-1, who's almost definitely going to close him down and make him grapple. Yes.
But I would say that, like, Phil Rowe was able to tee off on him and find the holes and find the angle, especially in the second round when he became a little bit more active.
Yeah. And when he wasn't on the floor underneath him.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem.
But you got to think that training at City Kickboxing, he was able to fight the hands well, because I feel like that's the best thing that they do at City Kickboxing in regards to takedown defense. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's going to be able to fight the hands well. He has a 5-inch reach advantage, and this fight's been scheduled 3 times. So it's like it's an opponent that he might be familiar with, and that might help him in this process. He does have a teammate on the card with Kai Kara-France as well, so might still have that motivation, that team aspect motivation that we see help some fighters like Paddy and Molly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was just unfortunate the fighter he got last time, because Jeremiah Wells is, he's tough and he's really, really physically strong. And he was able to do a lot of things with like just physicality. Because I remember even the commentating team was like, oh, he probably doesn't have it there. And, he was able to put him out. So, yeah, I just feel like Cosce's striking.
Oh, that flies back, motherfucker. God damn it. It's been haunting me. If all of a sudden one of the cameras disappear, it's just because I've taken it out with a big whack. Carry on. He's gone out there. Has he? Yeah. Did he go out into the gym? Yeah. Oh, wicked. Okay. Go on then. Continue.
Okay.
Which way are you going? Who do you think is going to win?
I was waiting on you first.
Of course you were. I think Cosce is going to win. I just think, I think he's got experience. I think he had a good first round against Phil Rowe. He got that ground and pound against Dixon on the Contender Series. I think he's the kind of fighter coming off his first loss, especially to Phil Rowe, who's, a massive, rangy striker.
Yeah, but so is this guy.
Of course, yeah, but he was also able to ground Phil Rowe, who's got a decent ground game as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's the thing. So it's like, I feel like Cosce is going to be able to close him down, and he's going to want to close him down because of his level of striking. And once he's on the floor, I don't know if Blood Diamond's got enough, grappling defense to be able to stop him just getting, ground and pound from top position.
Yes. But in Blood Diamond's last fight, I mean, I don't know if you remember, his opponent rolled his ankle as soon as he started, and then he just ran at him. And I think that has to do a lot with the UFC nerves. I feel like in this fight, he might be a bit more patient. The only issue is when Cosce takes people to the ground, it's usually over quite quickly.
Yeah.
With ground and pound, he has great crucifix.
Did you get it, Jamie? He swiped at it, I saw. I think Cosce is going to do it. I think he's probably going to win by ground and pound in the first round. And it won't surprise me if it starts with ground and pound and finishes with a choke, takes his back, or, arm triangle or something like that. What do you reckon?
It's a bit of a tough one, but yeah, I'm just gonna go with just more experience. So, Cosce in the grappling, yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna do a terrible name of pronouncing this guy's name. So we've got Negumereanu.
Yes.
Which is not too bad. And then we've got Ihor.
Yes.
Potieria.
Yes.
Potieria.
I feel like I'm just saying yes. I don't know if that's actually correct.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've heard Ihor before.
Yeah.
Thought that was a little bit.
I was listening over and over again to it on the Contender Series. I'm like, it's just they make it sound so easy when they say it. Potieria.
There you go. You just say Ihor, it like you don't
Ihor,
care.
Potieria. Ihor, Potieria. Okay, there we go. Okay, I've got it. Right. Negumereanu against Ihor. Oh, I called him Igor. Fuck. Okay. Negumereanu against Ihor Potieria. Okay. 2 light heavyweights. 12-1 against 20-2. Hang on a minute. Where's my UFC stats? This one should be an absolute banger because Nick just... I mean, he reminds me of... what's the dude? Fights out of Long Island. Chris Weidman's teammate. Gone up to heavyweight now. People are screaming his name at me right now. God damn it. No. Heavyweight. He's a heavyweight now.
I know who you're talking about.
Come on. Get to it before I remember.
Gian Villante.
Yeah, Gian Villante. There we go.
Fuck,
I was really struggling there for a second. Yes, Gian Villante kind of reminds me a bit like that. He starts off quite disciplined, but then he gets a bit, you know what I mean? A bit wrecking ball. And I think that...
Miley Cyrus.
That's not the kind of wrecking ball I was thinking. No.
Right.
Okay, so 12. Where was I? 12-1 for Negumereanu and 19-2 for Potieria. Poteria's got a 3-inch height advantage, but a 3-inch reach disadvantage. Mm-hmm. Southpaw v orthodox, higher striking output by Potieria. Of course, a little bit more grappling from Negumereanu than we've seen from Potieria. What do you reckon?
One thing that I found absolutely fascinating was in Ihor's fights, how many times they would just show his girlfriend during the fights.
Oh, is she hot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would just cut to her 800 times. During every reaction, any takedown, 3 punches, it would just cut back. It was a little bit hard to watch the fights.
They probably had 3 cameramen on her. Yeah. It's 2 guys filming the fight in the cage and 3 cameramen filming her from different angles.
But
he's on a good streak, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is on a pretty good streak. And the fight was first scheduled earlier this year, but he pulled out. I don't really know why. He has crazy power. You know, those left hook comes and like the flying knees. He does get a little bit wild though.
Got some rear naked chokes early in his career as well.
Yes.
So his losses were early on. He lost his second pro fight. So he was 2-1 as an amateur. Then he turned pro and won his first fight in under 2 minutes. Then he lost his second fight in the first round. 1-2 in the first round, lost a decision, and then he's been on a win streak since then. So the last time he lost was 2017. And he's got first round rear naked chokes, first round heel hooks, TKOs. Very
he's
aggressive.
Been able to like bully his opponents, and Nick doesn't get bullied.
No,
he you know,
he stands his ground.
He's like, bring it. I will never back down, no matter what you do. You know, and that I feel like that can help him out, especially because he has such good wrestling, so he'll be able to close the distance. I mean, he's just fought a guy that's extremely tall, and Shiku, like extremely tall. And when he realized that if he would just start going for it, that he would have more success. This might help him out in this fight, because then he can utilize his wrestling and kind of threatening him on the ground with ground and pound in just a more physical, grueling like match.
Yeah, I think Nick's style of striking as well is, I mean, it kind of opens him up to a lot of counter striking. You know, from a taller, longer range striker. You know, he was able to close down Kennedy, but I think the experience that Potieria's got is going to be able to keep him, keep him at a better range to land his strikes.
Plus, he has sick elbows from the clinch. The ones he lands, you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
You think twice about trying to close the distance again.
Yeah, I'm going with Potieria.
Yeah, and Nick won his last fight as a split decision, but his opponent also had an eye poke deduction. So doesn't that, if we take away that, wouldn't that...
Oh, it would probably make it a draw, would it? Maybe make it a draw? Or I mean, would it could have swayed it the opposite direction.
Yeah, I think
it could have
so.
done.
So
I don't know. I'd have to look at the scorecards. I think it's gonna be a first round stoppage for Potieria.
Some wild thing.
I think he's gonna be patient for about 60 seconds, and then Negumereanu is gonna come wading in with like a 3-punch combination that it's all hooks and swinging, and he's gonna get caught on the way in and hurt, and then followed up. Bam, 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 bam. Finish.
I don't think it's gonna be in the first. I think it's gonna be in the second. Because if you see his first round with Georgie.
What? Who?
Oh no. The one before Contender Series. Why am I even trying to say his name? I'm pretty sure that's how you say it.
Georgie. Oh, Gio. Oh, okay.
Okay, you see.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Yeah, yeah.
All right,
yeah.
then.
Georgie.
Why do you look at me like that?
I looked over at you and you were giving me the big eyes. I was like, okay.
All right, whatever. He was taken down against the fence and in the middle, of the cage with relative ease. Right. But in that second round, he showed like he was younger, fresher, more athletic, and was able to just put him away. So, yeah, that's why I think in the second.
Okay, fair enough. No, I think he's going to catch him. Okay, so which way are you going? You're going with Potieria as well, but you're going second round.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Right. Yeon Kim against Joselyne Edwards. So this is a women's bantamweight fight.
Nope, fly.
Is it flyweight?
It's fly.
It is listed as a bantamweight fight on Tapology. Oh no, have you got to re-record all your shit again?
Are you... Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Oh no.
I was just like, how is she making flyweight? I do not understand.
Sorry. Well, they can just clip that bit out. You'll be fine.
Why did I think it was flyweight?
Or you could just record yourself saying bantamweight. In fact, we can just send them the clip off this off the podcast.
They don't even know what we're talking about.
No. You can just the word bantamweight.
Yeah, but I don't say that.
What is it in Spanish?
Peso gallo.
There you go.
But I don't even say that. I said that she drops 2 weight categories because I thought this fight was in fly. For some reason, I don't know how I got confused. And I thought it was so weird because it was like 5 weeks after fighting in featherweight. I don't know. My head's just...
Is it because Ji-Yeon Kim's a flyweight? That's what she's listed as on UFC stats. So is she moving up a weight class as well as Joselyne Edwards moving to bantamweight?
No, so Joselyne just... Yeah, I think she just took that on short notice because they offered it to her. Yeah. She was training with Valentina and then they just called her and said, hey, do you want this fight? And
yeah, this is a bantamweight one. So Ji-Yeon Kim's going up. Her last 3, she's coming off 3 losses. Her last 3 fights have been... Well, she's always been a flyweight as far as I know.
And before her UFC career, she was a bantamweight.
Oh, was she?
Yeah,
she's
definitely.
Been in the UFC a while. Oh, yeah, no, she was.
And she fought...
Tao Lee.
Yes.
Won by a rear naked choke. And then she made her debut against Pudilova as a bantamweight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then she went to flyweight after she lost to Pudilova.
Yes.
Kitch, Melinda Fabian, lost to Antonina Shevchenko, beat Nadia Kassem with hooks to the body.
Yeah, that fight was really sick.
It was a very nice finish. And then lost 3 in a row. Alexa Grasso, Molly McCann, and Priscilla Cachoeira. All by decision. So now she's moving back up to bantamweight, and she's fighting Joselyne Edwards. What are your thoughts? Because you researched quite a lot of this, aside from the weight class, of course.
Well, I've always thought Ji-Yeon Kim has great boxing technique, but I feel like, I don't know if it's since her move to America, but it started to slip. Like, she used to be a lot cleaner, a lot more technical, a lot more straight to the punches, like straight with her shots. And now I just feel like her technique's just getting further and further away from her. And I don't know if it's a difference in coaching or like padding, not putting so much into those strikes, or if it's trying to work other things in her game, like her grappling and jiu-jitsu and, and the wrestling that takes away from that.
Could it be the weight class as well? Because if you look, I mean, she got 1 finish as a flyweight and she got 2 split decision wins.
Yeah, but dieting more doesn't make you throw your punches more loopy, does it?
No, but if she's not properly like rehydrated or recovered, I'm just thinking because she's, her perceived solution is to go back up to bantamweight.
But I don't feel her problem is that much. I don't know. I feel her problem is that she doesn't do well with fighters who are aggressive, who just go like, okay, I'll take your shot and then I'll like crash the distance and crash the range and land a bunch of my own shots. Like with Priscilla, I think she was winning the fight until Priscilla was just like, oh, I'm going to bully you and push you against the cage. And she was just landing the same rear elbow over and over and over for like a minute.
She is very hittable though. Like, do you think Joselyne Edwards is going to be able to do the same thing?
To Kim. Yeah, Cachoeira did that to Kim.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But do you think Joselyne Edwards is going to be able to do that to Kim?
I think so. Yeah, I think she's fast and she's very aggressive. I don't feel like we've seen her full potential in the UFC. I think she might have a lot of weight on her shoulders because she's the only female or athlete in general from Panama to compete, so that must put a lot of things on her. But she comes from a boxing background and has started to learn her grappling. And I feel you get a little bit comfortable on being on the ground because you're so used to spending time in that position to learn that in a fight it doesn't fully click like, hey, I have to get up or I have to do something else.
What about the pressure on Ji-Yeon Kim's shoulders though? She's 3-5 now in the UFC with a 3-fight win streak, 3-fight losing streak.
Yeah, but she always like puts on great fights.
She does.
I understand that like there is a lot of pressure for her in this fight, but
she's probably got one refresh opportunity given the fact she's gone back up to bantamweight. You know what I mean? If she loses this, she'll probably get one more shot. But, of course, there's still a lot of pressure on her shoulders as well. So, quick tale of the tape. 11-4 for Joselyne Edwards. 9-5-2 for Ji-Yeon Kim. 1-inch height advantage for Edwards. 2-inch reach advantage for Kim. Slightly higher striking output. Slightly lower striking accuracy, or decent chunk lower, in fact, striking accuracy for Kim, but better defense. Good takedown defense for Edwards. Do you think this is going to be a grappling match at all? I don't think either of these are going to want to shoot. I think Kim
they
might
to prove a point.
You reckon?
You know, like Mark Jacasey, that started to grapple all of a sudden and started to use wrestling. I think, that she might try to show a more complete game set and make the fight easier for her. Because in the end, I think that's what a lot of fighters are starting to go for. They're starting to back away from, let me have the most exciting fight possible and let me win, because in reality, if you lose a few, you get cut. So no matter how good your fights are, it's a big risk.
If Joselyne Edwards wins this one, I think she should probably have to fight Antonina Shevchenko for the name, because they've got the same nickname, haven't they?
Yeah, but they're trained together.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, she trains with the sisters over.
Team Panther.
Yeah, Team Panther.
So which way are you going? You're picking Joselyne Edwards, aren't you? I can tell. Yeah, I think she's going to do it as well. I think she's a bit sharper with her striking. I just think Kim's very hittable. She's game. You know, her fights are fun to watch, but that's partly because she takes punches to land punches, and I feel like Edwards has got, you know, better footwork, better mobility. She's got a good kicking game as well, which I think is going to be a key in this one. Yeah,
a lot of good teeps. Something that Nadia was using in her fight against Kim.
Against Kim, yeah. Okay, moving on. Michael Morales against Adam Fugitt. Is it?
It is.
Is it?
Yes.
It's not Fugitt.
You're going to keep making fun of me.
Listen,
why are you so mean to me? This is abuse.
I was thinking about this the other day.
What were you thinking?
Shit. I just poured water all over myself.
Something you always make fun of me for. What were you thinking?
You do it all the time, that's why. I was wondering whether this was like a change in direction with the pronunciation of his name from, you know, a little while back, right? Because I don't know where the pronunciation, like, I don't know how that becomes Fugitt. It's Fugitt. I mean, does the double T turn it into a Fugitt? Would it be Fugitt if it was just a one T? I'm being serious. But the other thing as well you got to consider is there might have been a point in time where, do you remember? You know, Jamie will know Keeping Up Appearances, Hyacinth Bouquet, right? Like, the joke in that show was that her last name was Bucket. And every time someone called her Hyacinth Bucket, she would correct him and say it was pronounced Bouquet, right? I think this is what's going on with Adam here. I mean, nothing against him. He's a lovely guy. He's got a wicked right hook knockout in his last fight. But you've got to think at some point, there might have been a conversation. They were like, look, we're moving to another state. Social media don't exist. No one's got the internet yet. We could just say it different. We could just not say it Fugitt anymore. You know what I mean? We could say it from now on. If we all agree, we could just say it Fugitt and just fiercely correct everybody every time they say it Fugitt.
Yeah, but I would rather say Fugitt. I'm Veronica Fugitt. Like, you know, that's way funnier.
Maybe it was keeping one of his ancestors out of politics or something, and they decided to put like
especially if you're
a European
fighter,
spin on it.
You would much rather say I'm Adam Fugitt. you gotta do a head thing as well.
His nickname should be Mother. Concentrate on the fights, you. We're going off track here. Okay, Michael Morales, 13-0,
okay.
Undefeated. What's that in Spanish?
Invicto.
Invicto.
Yes.
Nice. 8-2 for Adam Fugitt.
Yes.
What's Fugitt in Spanish? There's no word for it. It's always Fugitt. It's just Fugitt.
Como jodase.
Okay. That sounds aggressive, unnecessarily. I'm a bit scared now.
Spanish is a little bit aggressive.
So UFC Stats has Adam at 6.1 on height. So he has a 1-inch height advantage, but there's no reach on here. I don't know why that is. But Morales has a 79-inch reach, which is very, very long. Like, normally a 6-foot person has a reach somewhere between sort of 74 and 76. It's a decent reach. Even though Adam's the taller one, I would expect Morales to have the reach advantage.
Yes. And Morales is a big boy.
He is. And he's got lovely, lovely counter striking. That finish. And the other thing as well is he's had, a contender series fight where he got, was it 3 rounds? It was a decision, wasn't it? It's contender
yes, it
series
was.
Fight.
And he pulled like a suplex on the fight. Yeah. It was absolutely beautiful the way he finished it.
And then he fought on a numbered event. He made his debut on a pay-per-view, didn't he? And picked up a knockout finish.
Yes.
Looked really, really good, very composed.
I love the way that after he got that counter and it went to the ground, Giles tried to go for the single leg and he was striking and then he saw the far side wrist and then he gripped it and finished it with a crucifix.
Yeah.
The awareness you have to do that in that moment, especially when a finish is so close, you're 23, it's a pay-per-view event, you have Brandon Moreno and, in the card as well. That is just something that impressed me a lot.
Yeah.
And
heavyweight
also,
title on the line as well. Those events are even bigger. Was it UFC 270, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It reminds me of when, when Oliveira knocked out Nick Lentz and he caught his foot and hit him, knocked him out. And then as he went down, he grabbed his foot to control him from turning away.
Yeah.
Like that kind of awareness. I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have that awareness. I would think about posting to strike, but to control and strike is... Yeah.
Extremely impressive.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And Fugitt's got that counter right hook knockout, hasn't he? What was it, 40-odd seconds, 43 seconds?
Yeah. What was crazy is he threw 100 high kicks. No, not 100. 10 high kicks.
I was going to say it was a lot, but I don't think it was 100. It was over and over again. But he was going high kick to left hand, though, wasn't he?
But it was, the first was 6 back-to-back high kicks.
That's true.
And then he did, I think,
a front kick,
then another high kick, then a front kick, and then some more high kick.
And then high kick to left hand, kick to left hand, yeah. But his opponent was like 5'8", wasn't he? So that's, he was trying to capitalise.
Yeah.
But that was really impressive. And then he ended up backing up and doing that like kind of counter, like check hook as he moved in.
I didn't think it even landed with that much power. It was like, it's one of these knockouts that you see, you're like, what?
Yeah,
you gotta like rewatch it.
It was very, very slick.
Yeah. And he competed in Muay Thai as well a lot. And there was this one fight that I saw that he was fighting a much more physical opponent, like Morales. Well, not like Morales, but a lot more physical. And he landed a spinning back elbow. It was absolutely sick because the opponent was like covering distance. And that was absolutely beautiful. But Morales is just like one of these new kids that's coming that you're just like, oh, I'm going to have to get out of this sport real quick.
So that's the way you're going, is it?
Yeah.
Morales, yeah.
Oh,
I kind of feel.
He's a heavy favorite as well. I think.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Morales is gonna do it, and I feel like Fugitt's the right opponent for the UFC to bring in because he's coming off a fast knockout. He's going to be game to try and strike. He's going to be nervous because it's his UFC debut. Mm-hmm. He's only 10 fights into his career. I know Morales is 13 fights in, but
he's been competing his whole life, And
he's already had. Morales has had 2 fights already in the UFC gloves, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It does give you a little bit of a settled feeling.
There was this one training video I saw of him that he did he was basically on the floor and he was doing front flip to back to front to back to front to all the way. I was like, what? What is this? Yeah. It's absolutely incredible how he's able to move his body and just the wrestling physicality that he has. It really shows.
Yeah. Yeah, I think first round knockout for Morales.
Yeah.
Okay. Drakkar Klose against Rafa García. So, hang on a minute. Let me get my stats up for this one. This one should be one of the bangers on the card, in my opinion. I like both of these guys. I just feel like Klose can sometimes get a bit tangled up, and García is really good at clamping onto submissions. Okay, 12-2-1 for Drakkar Klose, 14-2 for Rafa García. 2-inch height advantage for Klose, but the reach is the same. Higher striking output for Klose, higher striking accuracy, less strikes absorbed per minute. So all good stats for him there. Pretty competitive stats all the way through. There's a decent lean towards García in the grappling stats as far as his takedown average per 15 minutes, 4.1, which is high. takedown accuracy 48%, but Klose's takedown defense at 68%. Should be a really good scrap, this one, I think. I think Drakkar Klose was on a trajectory to something really good, and then he kind of ran into Beneil Dariush, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just derailed him a bit.
And that push that he had with Jeremy Stephens. He's even said, like, been very vocal about that not being the same.
Oh, about injuring his neck, didn't he?
Yeah. It's just, what people don't understand is that, yes, it was a push, and it wasn't, like, maybe in a fight you can withstand, like, a suplex to your head.
You're expecting it in a fight.
Yeah, but you're, like, you're ready. You're prepped for it. When you're not, the whiplash you can get from that is exponentially more, and the damage it can cause is absolutely crazy. The repercussions and everything. And he said that he's never going to be the same fighter again or the same person again after that. Yeah.
Damn.
Didn't think that it was handled well either. It was a little bit like no comments. But
so
angry.
is that going to be a problem if García starts chasing his neck? Because he's a rear naked choker, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think it's not as much as in a choking type of way. It's more like using your head with pressure and in wrestling.
Okay, so like stability. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I feel like it's going to be more affected, not more susceptible to chokes.
Right.
Yeah, but, I mean, Drakkar, man, he's good.
Yeah, he's very good.
Just good
really
all
heavy
around.
Hands.
Yeah. I really like the way he fights. His last performance was beautiful, very, very mature in his approach. He's right now just looking to stack up wins, and I think this is a good opponent that is going to push him. It's going to be a great fight, but he's also going to come out on top.
Yeah. It's nice to see him get a finish in his last fight as well, because he does tend to have a lot of decision wins. I mean, they're decision wins over good fighters. Bobby Green, Venata, Yagos, Mark Casey. He is beating good fighters, but then that win over Brandon Jenkins was, just what he needed after the loss to Dariush. Because I think he is right in that upper echelon, kind of around the top 15, but he's just not been able to break that. He's not been able to break that final barrier to become a contender yet.
Yeah. But García is tough as they come.
Yeah.
I feel like that just comes with, like, being a Mexican fighter.
Yeah. But he has got good submissions as well. I mean, he is game to scrap, but which way are you going?
I'm picking Drakkar for this one.
Oh, yeah. What, stoppage or decision?
I think decision.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's been able to stuff his takedown to keep him standing and beat him up. Yeah, I was going the same way. I think it's going to be a good fight, but I feel like Klose has got the takedown defense and the physicality to be able to stop García level changing, and then you're going to get García being a little bit panicked because he's under pressure up against the fence.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Right, heavyweights, right? Dontel Mays against... What are you laughing at?
Lord Kong.
Lord Kong, yeah, that's a good nickname. He is fucking huge though, isn't he? He's 6'6", 81-inch reach. And in his last fight, we saw some really good ground and pound and stuff. So, you know what I mean? It fits perfectly with him. We just don't want him to. We need to get someone to animate him like ripping a T-Rex's head apart. You know what I mean? That's a good nickname for him, I think. Dontel Mays versus the Hammer, Hamdy Abdelwahab, who's a very, very aggressive individual. A little bit undersized in this one at 6'2", but will almost definitely close that distance within 10 seconds.
Yeah.
The one thing he's got to watch out for. In fights that he's won and one where he got disqualified, which I found on YouTube.
Just punch him in the back of the head.
Constantly punching the back of the head.
Not care.
No,
I don't think he knew the rules.
I just think he when he's in fight mode, he's just going. He's just scrapping.
Yeah.
But I was impressed with Mays in his last fight. Sometimes we see him look a little bit pressured and a little bit like on the verge of breaking in his fights, especially because sometimes taller guys get backed up against the fence. But I feel like he's got all the physical attributes to be able to be a real problem. Which way are you going?
Can we just mention that Hamdy fought in MMA bare knuckle?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
That's crazy.
On Masvidal's thing.
Two game bred, both first round finishes.
Yeah,
this guy is crazy.
where he was blasting the guy in the back of the head with no gloves on. I I was watching. I'm like, oh, okay, nothing changes. But I guess and kind of anything goes in that stuff.
But what's crazy is he's an Olympic wrestler.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
He's just like but.
So what was he?
Kind of like Joel Romero, a wrestler that only, I don't know, tells you that he's a wrestler and then punches you.
There's a lot, but that happens a lot though. There are a lot of wrestlers that do that. Like look at Gaethje.
Yeah.
Because what they realize is that wrestling's fucking exhausting, and it's easier to just have wrestling in the back pocket and learn how to box. Because it's much easier to beat someone with one punch than it is to take someone down and control them and hit them and choke them or whatever.
It's a lot less draining.
A lot less draining. A lot more efficient.
Especially if you're a heavyweight.
Plus, if you've got strong wrestling, people are going to most likely work hard on their takedown offense, which leaves the surprise factor of attacking with boxing.
Something interesting that I found. It's stupid because I don't stop
laughing. I know it's stupid because she's starting laughing already.
So.
On
Dontel's last fight, right, when he fought Josh Parisian.
Yes.
Those hump strikes.
Hump strikes?
I mean, come on. He was hitting him with his cup.
Hip strikes.
Oh, yeah, hip strikes.
Hip strikes. Or hump strikes.
You were just saying...
You've just said hump strikes. Hashtag hump strike. There we go.
Whatever. There's this WWE wrestler. Wait.
Oh, no. That's it. We're not going to get this story out now. You're not going to get it.
You
might as well just write off any excitement you've got for getting this rest of this story. We're stuck on hump strike.
WWE. There's a guy called Big Daddy V that uses it as a finishing move.
Does he really? Yeah.
Big Daddy V.
Big Daddy V.
Fugitt.
Does he call it the hump strike?
I don't know.
I thought you got that from somewhere. You just made that shit up. Fucking hump strike. Brilliant. Okay. So are you suggesting that Dontel Mays is going to beat the Hammer by hump strike?
Well, he might just Derek Lewis and get up.
Would he be able to put him on his back? That's the thing. I don't think Ismail's take him down, is he?
Yeah, that's the tough part. But maybe he can catch him with something as he's throwing like a crazy overhand, just enough to like destabilize him and get him into a grappling type of situation.
You reckon? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which way are you going?
Which way are you going?
You always flip it onto me.
No, last time I went first.
Okay. I think Abdelwahab is going to take him down and beat him up, stop him in the first round. I think he's just going to be too aggressive for him. Or he's going to get himself disqualified and Mays is going to win by disqualification, which I am also going to put on the table as a good second option.
Okay. I'm going to go with the veteran on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The veteran of 11 fights.
Well, he has a lot more fights, okay? And in the UFC, and he's fought, like, tough individuals. Like, he just fought Cyril Gane.
He's already developed his hump strike powers.
Big Daddy V.
Big Daddy V hump strike powers.
Yeah.
Hang on, we can't mention this. We'll get a cease and desist letter from... they're already going to send us one for saying War Machine, I'm sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Which way are you going?
I already told you. You need to pay attention. Dante, Lord Kong, Hump Striker.
Hump Striker. Yeah. Hump Striker Mays. Okay. One for Hump Striker Mays and one for Abdelwahab. The Hammer.
Okay.
Yeah? You good? You ready?
Good.
Okay.
Ready. Next one.
Okay. Drew Dober against Rafael Alves. Okay. Two guys that have got like a lot of experience and a fairly similar record. So Dober 24-11, Rafael Alves 20-10. Okay. Striker grappler matchup. Is that too much of an oversimplification?
No, I think that's about right. The only thing is after Drew's last fight, well, yeah, what are you going to try and take the other guy to the ground and get guillotined? That's the issue. But he is always willing to brawl, and he has that knockout power.
Yeah. That was the last one was a TKO finish from top position, wasn't it? Didn't he drop him and then stop him from like a butterfly guard?
Oh yeah, it was like a flying knee to. Yeah. Well, I think what was it? I wrote it down. It was a stiff jab.
Yeah.
And then he went to a flying knee, and then he guillotined like all within like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It was absolutely crazy. But I don't think he's ever gone for a takedown in the UFC.
He has 0.8 stat for takedowns in 15 minutes. So he's the thing is they've probably counted a couple where he's had a body lock and he's tried to trip him.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
not actually went for takedowns. Not. So I feel like that part is going to benefit Drew more in this fight because he might have. I think he has a better chin because I mean after what he took against Terrence,
he took Brad Riddell down once apparently. That's the only one though. Oh no, 2 against John Tuck as well.
No, I'm talking about Rafael not having any takedowns.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I'm confused. Yeah, no, he has no takedowns. But he has an average of 1.8 submissions per 15 minutes.
Yeah, but it's like I hurt you to a submission type of game where like you come in and I wrap you up in something. It's not something that I feel he's like, let me take it to the ground and get a submission there, which is where Drew has suffered the most in the ground exchanges.
Yeah, but do you think Alves can hurt Dober on the feet? I just don't think he can win those exchanges.
Yeah, I don't either.
The same. So let me just quick tell the tape. So 24-11 and 1 no contest for Dober, 20-10 for Alves. Both 5'8", 2-inch height advantage for Dober. Higher striking output, slightly lower striking accuracy, slightly better striking defense from Alves as well. But as you said, no takedown attempts, but a high submission attempt average per 15 minutes for Alves. 53% takedown offense for Dober.
Yeah, I would say like Dober probably knocks him out.
Yeah.
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 And even if he comes at him with something that lands well, like that stiff jab that he threw with the flying knee, I feel like Dober can withstand that because, yeah, if he took what he did from Terrence McKenna and then kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude's got a solid chin.
Yeah, I mean, he was on a 3-fight win streak until he lost to Makhachev.
Yeah, I mean,
and then he lost to Riddell by decision, but that was a scrap. That was a fight of the night, bonus winner that was, and then he's got that win over Terrence McKinney.
Yeah,
which was March of this year, so he's already had a good run out this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that Dober's going to do it as well. I could see him cashing in with a knee, to be honest, because I'd imagine him being able to pressure him, nail him with low kicks. And then when there's a level change or when there's a tie-up attempt from Alves to try and like give him a breather, that's when he'll be able to catch him with something elbow, knee, close range.
Well, that knee is what he caught Terrence with. So, and then he just finished like viciously with ground and pound, something that Terrence had him down several times and wasn't able to do that. So that just shows you a good stability in base and good finishing abilities.
Yeah.
Plus, he's had a lot of knockouts, so he doesn't get too crazy when that moment presents itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Because you don't want to be running into somebody's submission game.
Exactly. Okay,
so last prelim on the card, yes? Alex Morono against Matthew Semelsberger. So 21-7 for Morono with 1 no contest, 10-3 for Semelsberger. A 2-inch height advantage for Semelsberger and a 3-inch reach advantage for Semelsberger. And he's also a far more mobile switch stance fighter.
Yes.
Morono's definitely got some strong submission skills, but he does tend to spend most of his fights on the feet striking.
Yeah, he likes making it like an ugly, like grimy fight.
Yeah, and he's a good technical kickboxer, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's got good technical kickboxing. But Semelsberger's got a couple of like 15-second knockouts which just keep replaying in my head.
And so like direct to the target. It reminds me a lot of Kamaru Usman. There's not a lot to tell and it just goes straight through.
Yeah. What was the guy's name? He was throwing a low kick, wasn't he? And he just counted him with that short straight right.
Yeah. Well, both of those fights.
AJ Fletcher.
No, that's not who he did it.
Jason Witt, that was it.
Yeah.
Jason Witt, yes.
I didn't find that on Fight Pass. I had to look for it on YouTube.
Yeah, video wasn't working, was it?
Yeah, it just didn't show up. There was some account that said UFC that had like Khabib doing this.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's only the U was capital though. So it was not legit.
Oh, it was definitely not legit.
No,
I watched it on the same stream.
Oh, really? Yeah.
At least someone had put it up though. Okay, what do you reckon about this one?
Well, what I like about Alex is he just seems to be in a different place right now. He's had stem cell therapy. He's focusing a lot more on strength and conditioning and recovery. And he's coming off 3 wins. He had that finish over Cowboy. So he's really surging right now.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that can kind of creep through the division, and people won't pay any attention to him, and then all of a sudden he's getting bigger fights, like Brian Barberena kind of fighter.
He says he strives to be like Jim Miller.
Jim Miller, yes. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, he's just broke the record for fights in the UFC, hasn't he, Jim Miller?
He says he has a long way to go, but
he's been around for a while though.
He has 10 first-round finishes as well.
He made his debut in 2016.
Yes.
Against James Moontasri. What a name that is. Moontasri.
Is it better than Fugitt?
Fugitt, I think it is. He beat Kyle. Oh, no. Sorry. I'm wrong. His debut was Kyle Noak. 2016. Yeah, good fighter. Really skilled all round. And just, like, people seem to underestimate him, especially his striking. And he's able to kind of walk him down and beat him up, keep a high pace on him. I just don't know if he wants to be striking much with Semelsberger.
But do you think, because for Semelsberger, if he doesn't get that straight knockout with the beginning, he usually doesn't get it. It kind of goes to a decision. So I feel Alex might be able to ride that surge and power out and just kind of use veteran tricks.
Yeah.
You know, he's been around for a really long time. He knows how to take punches and roll with it. And
so then is the smart thing for him to, like, hold him up against the fence and tire him out, try and take him down, or stay on the back foot and move and let him try and pressure? Because the problem is, one of Morono's outside strikes is going to be a low kick. And that's what's going to leave him right in line for that counter right. So I think the more time he spends at range, the more danger he's in. It's probably safer to try and get through that danger range as quickly as possible. Probably not in the first 30 seconds. Like, give it a bit of breathing room and then try and, you know, maybe level change him up against the fence and start to slow him down there.
Yes. Because the knockouts that he's had has been people running at him within the first 30 seconds. And if you're fresh and if you find the target, I don't care who you are, you're going to go down. Yeah.
But then Morono's, you know, he can start quite aggressively. I don't know. Like, I'd like to say that I think that Morono's going to do it because he's been so, you know, consistent in the division. But I just feel like he's going to throw a low kick and get pinged with that right hand by Semelsberger.
Yeah, that is a significant danger. Significant danger. But I think he's going to play it smart in this fight. I think he's just going to make it ugly.
42% takedown defense for Semelsberger. I think he's going to be able to keep it standing. He's got subs on his record as well, hasn't he? Just the one. Yeah,
Plus, he's training in Fortis MMA. He's going to have that familiarity with being in Dallas, and I think that's going to help him a little bit.
Yeah. So which way are you going? Are you going Semelsberger or Morono?
I'm going to go with Morono.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go Semelsberger on this one.
I'm not going to go with wild cards this UFC event.
You know, I like a wild card. I don't know. I can just see Morono being a little bit too kind of eager to get started, and maybe throws a low kick or a right hand and gets it split with that counter right.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm banking on him being aware of the danger.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
And not falling into the traps.
Yeah. You know, it is though, when a fight gets started and
he's
like, oh, I'll just throw a couple of shots to see how it goes. Yeah. Okay, main card time. Right. Light heavyweight matchup. Magomed Ankalaev against Anthony Smith. So 17-1 for Ankalaev, 36-16 for Anthony Smith. Smith has a 1-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Higher striking output from Magomed, as well as a higher striking accuracy and defense. Just all round, generally a bit of a slicker striker. But then you've got to think the people that Anthony Smith has faced and the amount of strikes that he's taken at short range, when he's tired, when he's on the ground, etc., etc. I can hear that fly again.
Can you hear it, Jamie?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Everyone can hear it. It's like a fucking helicopter.
There's a lot of cursing in this podcast.
Well, that's because you're on.
No, it's because you started saying Fugitt.
Fugitt. Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, generally the striking stats lean towards Magomed. That fly's throwing me off. There it is. Oh, get it. Technical difficulties.
I just looked at the light.
It's on the light. I can see it.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at the light like a dickhead. Okay. So slightly higher takedown average for Ankalaev. Slightly higher takedown accuracy. 85% takedown defense. So Anthony Smith might waste his energy trying to grapple with him if he's losing the striking range. I think the gameness of Anthony Smith can maybe work against him in this one. A bit like Morono, to be honest, because Ankalaev. Although, I mean, I say that, but then that's assuming he's not learned the lesson from the first Cutelaba fight, where Cutelaba tried to get him excited and pretending to be hurt to draw him into a brawl.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's going to hang on the outside and kick and beat Anthony Smith up from a distance, and Smith's going to struggle to close distance and trap him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can see it just being a really kind of like grinding, frustrating one for Anthony Smith, who's going to get outpointed, have his takedown stuffed, and not really be able to do anything and lose a decision to Ankalaev.
I think Ankalaev might also like get some takedowns of his own and just use it as a controlling thing. It might be a danger because I feel Smith has maybe the better strict grappling, but in an MMA fight, when you have, in 5 minutes, it's not a lot of time to do stuff unless you're extremely slick. And it's hard when someone's trying to pin you to do grappling because it's easier to engage when the other person's also engaging in grappling. Mm-hmm. That's when scrambles happen and opportunities get created. But if the other person is kind of more just trying to hold you down to like punch you, then that gets a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
But I mean, he does have that loss in the last second to a submission. I mean, it can happen.
Like the two ways that Ankalaev can lose to Anthony Smith, is if he gets too eager and starts scrapping with him.
Yeah. Like
he almost did against Cutelaba before it was stopped early by the referee. Or the other way is for him to get submitted because he's underestimating his opponent's ground game, like he did against Paul Craig after he was beating him up for 14 or so minutes. So they're the two ways that you could potentially lose against Anthony Smith: getting subbed with Anthony Smith on his back, or getting drawn into a brawl and getting caught. And I don't think he's going to do either of those things.
Yeah,
That's why I don't think he's going to wrestle too much, because I think he's going to respect Anthony Smith's grappling enough to just not want to play that game. Like he's good at just drifting around on the outside and using a long jab and working a body kick. He's a very emotionless fighter. You know what I mean? He's not. I just don't think he's going to do anything stupid or like ego based.
He has great like front kicks and kicks up the center line that you just don't see coming.
Yeah, but Anthony Smith has got that wicked set of teeth. You know what I mean? Like that's not going to bother him. Like that's like a. You know, he could just meet the kick with his new grill. Bang.
Oh.
Right? He's a tough motherfucker, Anthony Smith is, right? That's the problem.
Like too tough.
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't he work for the UFC?
Yeah, he works on the desk and stuff. He works as an analyst.
So why did they give him this fight? That's messed up.
Maybe because they want him to do more of that and less fighting. Right?
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm going Ankalaev.
Yeah, I am as well. Unfortunately, I feel like he's just going to really slow this one down. Oh, I thought he was reaching for the fly. Then I thought you were going to get it. Yes, I think he's going to be too much for Anthony Smith. I like Smith. He's a good dude and he's a good analyst. But I just don't think he's got the patient skills to win this one. And yeah. I mean, there was a point, especially when he first moved up to light heavyweight, when he was just wrecking people. Like the way he finished Shogun, one of my favourite finishes, because as he hit him with the elbow, like you saw Mark Goddard jump in and like catch his head as he was falling. It was such a slick stoppage. Yeah, Ankalaev by decision, I think. Okay. Next up, Alejandro Pantoja against Alex Perez. So 24 and 5 for Pantoja, 24 and 6 for Perez. Shorter average fight time by about over 4 minutes for Perez, which is significant. 1 inch taller for Perez, but he is at a 2-inch reach deficit. Pantoja is a bit of a wild man. He has a high striking output, but Perez's striking output is higher, surprisingly. But Perez's striking defense is slightly higher as well. More wrestling on Perez's side, 87% takedown defense as well. So you've got to think with these stats, Perez might be able to, keep this one on the feet. But it's just the chaotic way that Pantoja fights. Just kind of anything's on the table for me in this one.
Yeah, Perez competed in wrestling too. He was also a coach. So
yeah.
And now more fights, we're seeing a little bit more of his striking, which has been really fun to watch. I mean, they're both just the flyweight division. They just have such complete dynamic striking fights that you just have to rewatch the rounds to really score it. A lot of the times you're just like, how'd it go? I don't really know, because so much
half speed.
Yeah, so much happens within a round. But I do see him getting caught in traps like he did against Figueiredo with that guillotine choke. And especially because Pantoja is such a slick grappler.
Yeah.
I've seen him. It was once he had the back. He had no hooks, literally just chest to chest. And the guy was standing up and he was over him. And with the momentum of God knows what, he was able to scoot back, get a grip, and find himself to solidify that position. That is crazy.
Yeah.
If I do that, I'm calling timeout, and I'm just like,
you just want to show me the replay. Show me the replay. Everybody watch this replay. Everybody watch this replay. Slow it down.
If you guys are not clapping, get up and clap.
Yeah,
that was insane.
Yeah,
I've always been a giant fan of Pantoja.
Yeah,
always his grappling is just something absolutely beautiful, and when he gets to the back, the way he finishes and he sets up and just controls you, even without having to go for a takedown, he just finds it.
Yeah. The way to beat him is to stall him out to a decision and to slow things down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Perez could do that. He does have the wrestling to do that. But it's a challenge of discipline to do that over 15 minutes. And the other thing that's worth noting as well is that the last time Perez fought was against Figueiredo at UFC 255, which was 2020.
Yeah.
So he's been out for nearly 2 years.
He's had so many cancelled fights. 6
cancelled bouts according to Tapology.
Yeah.
Match Snell, Askarov, Snell, Askarov. That sounds like I'm saying something. Is Snell? What's Snell a different? Is it mean faster or something in a different language? I think it does.
Yeah, it's not in Spanish. I don't know what you're looking at me.
German. Well, is it?
German, I think.
Yeah. Feels like it's a different, like a word. Anyway, is his name Matt Faster? That's pretty cool, isn't it? I like Matt Snell. He's a smart dude.
And Perez also struggles a little bit with the weight.
Yeah. But then that might, if he is able to make weight, that might be a bit of an advantage for him because, hang on. Quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly. There we go. Well, there was nothing quick about his return to the octagon, was there, after the Figueiredo fight? I mean, 6 cancelled bouts over 2 years is incredibly frustrating for him.
Yeah, but that's not Perez, is it? That's Snell.
What? No, Alex Perez.
Yeah. He said there was nothing quick about him coming back. That would be if it was, oh, yeah. Why you look at me like that now?
No.
Yes. If it was Matt Snell.
No, the joke was that I said faster 3 times in a row. I said quicker 3 times in a row and then said, well, there's nothing quick about...
Oh, okay. I think he's bullshit.
Am I bullshitting? Yeah.
I think I'm right and you're just twisting words.
Hashtag hump strikes. Yeah.
Big Daddy V. That's the hashtag I want.
So the question is, can Alex Perez stay disciplined enough for 15 minutes to nullify and slow down Pantoja's mad attack? Is he going to get clipped with something coming over the top, mad wild, and get hurt and get rocked and get wrapped up in a guillotine? Or is Pantoja going to just attack him with such ferocity that he's able to disguise a takedown in amongst it and jump on his back and strangle him?
The last one.
That one. You think Pantoja's going to jump on his back and scramble up and...
Yeah.
Come in like a spider monkey.
He's just coming off a win over Brandon Royval, which Brandon is sick.
Yeah, he is very good.
He's another
good at defending
fighter.
those kind of scrambles as well.
So that's why Sorry, I'm going to go with Pantoja.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to do the same thing. But I do feel like Perez has got the abilities and the potential to control this fight. I just feel like with 2 years out, fighting someone like Pantoja who starts fast and is very aggressive, I mean, even if he is able to kind of slow it down the first round, he's going to have such an adrenaline dump from the shock of being in there. That's going to take a lot out of him. I think Pantoja will be able to choke him second round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Next one up is the heavyweights. Derek Lewis against Sergey Pavlovich. Are you giggling at?
Jamie's giggling.
What's Jamie giggling at?
Yeah, me too.
Is that, Jamie's just scrolling through his Instagram in his head. He's got a permanent Derek Lewis Instagram feed right in his subconscious, and he just scrolls through.
He's okay.
He might not be okay after this fight. I think Derek Lewis is going to knock him out. I think Sergey's going to be smart to try and close him down and make him grapple. But I feel like people always underestimate Derek Lewis's ability to stop takedowns and to get up once people are on him. I mean, like, what was it? Roy Nelson, Gonzaga? There's been a few people that have been good heavyweights that have been attached to him, and he's just gone like, nah, fuck it. I'm getting up.
Yeah.
Shake him off like a wet towel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to knock him out. Oh, go on. Oh, I like a theory.
Derek Lewis does not perform well in Texas.
That is a good observation.
Valid theory.
Yes, it is.
Right? He doesn't seem to do well. And, okay, the opponents he's had has been absolutely crazy with Sirogan and Tai Tuivasa, which are both now fighting each other in September. Yeah, but I don't feel like he performs as well in Texas.
No, he did beat Latifi in Texas. He beat Latifi by decision, though. It's very unusual for him to go to a decision. Austin, Texas, he knocked out Marcin Tybura. Maybe it's just Houston.
Yeah.
His last two losses have been in Houston. But yeah, like you said, I mean, it's Sirogan, Tai Tuivasa. Yeah, I don't know. I do think he struggles with the pressure, but I just feel like he's going to look at Pavlovich and think, this guy's big and slow, and he's going to most likely be afraid of my power, so he's going to level change onto an uppercut, and he's going to probably either catch him with an overhand as he's backing up and pulling away, or an uppercut like he did against Curtis Blades. It's going to be either the Volkov knockout or the Curtis Blades knockout.
Yeah. And his only loss has been to Alistair Overeem, but it wasn't in a striking match. It was him getting taken down and ground and pound, which I found a bit interesting.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of a surprise factor in that as well.
Yes.
Okay, quick teletape. So 26-9 for Derek Lewis with 1 no contest, 15-1 for Sergey Pavlovich. Same height, both 6'3", but Pavlovich has an 84-inch reach compared to Derek Lewis, who's got a 79-inch reach, which goes back to that kid Morales, who also has a 79-inch reach. Mm-hmm. That's just to illustrate the point. Derek Lewis, 6'3", same reach. But then Pavlovich, 84 inches. That's massive. Strikes landed per minute is massively favoured towards Pavlovich, but then he has to hit you a lot more times to do the same kind of damage that Derek Lewis does. 50% striking accuracy. So Derek Lewis is going to throw about 2.5 strikes a minute, and he's going to land half of them. And the half that he lands is going to completely twist your chin around the side of your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Derek Lewis as well.
Yeah. 55% takedown defense. 28% takedown accuracy for Derek Lewis. I mean, he's a man of surprises. I think he's going to win by head kick.
I don't think so.
Jamie, did you see that? We're going to clip this after the weekend when he knocks him out with a head kick.
Okay. All right, fine.
It just gets better. Go on.
What?
Derek Lewis is going to win by head kick.
Yeah, I don't think so. There you go. That's twice.
3 times. That was 3 times. I like 3 times the doubt. Come on, Derek Lewis with his head kick. Yeah, I think he is. I think he's going to win by head kick. I think Pavlovich is going to level change onto it and he's going to kick him right in the mush.
Okay. Yep. I think Pavlovich is going to test his power. He's just going to be like, oh, you just came from a knockout. I'm going to be able to do the same. I'm massive and going to try to come in and prove a point to get up in the division.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's going to find out.
Exactly.
He's going to find out.
Derek Lewis, yeah.
Derek Lewis is just one person that I would never want to fight.
It's such a difficult fight to break down. You know what I mean? Like how do you break down Derek Lewis? Well, if he lands,
you're dead.
You're doomed. Yeah.
And you just have to make one small mistake, and a small mistake that somebody like what was it, Curtis Blades made.
Yeah.
So if you think about someone like Curtis Blades, which I think has a way higher fight IQ and a lot more, I just think is a better overall fighter than Sergey.
Yeah.
If he fell for it.
He just knows how to read a human.
Yeah.
He knows how to know where you're going to put your face so he can punch it.
He puts faces to draw you.
But the thing is though, it's the thing is you've got that, which is it's really smart, streetwise punching accuracy, coupled with an 8-year-old's reaction to pain. Like when he gets hit in the stomach, he holds his stomach and bends over and turns away, and he's like, oh, right in my balls. You know what I mean? It was he's gonna go and tell his mom. It was that kind of reaction. He's fucking hilarious. What an anomaly in the division. I think Derek Lewis is gonna knock him out with a head kick.
I feel like we've had too many of the same picks.
You're picking Derek Lewis by knockout, but not by head kick, right?
Yeah, but that's still I don't go that much into detail. I just go into who wins the pick.
Yeah, but the thing is, if I go into real detail about it, then if it comes off, then we've got that one video where I fucking nail it and we can just play it over and over again. It's yet to happen, but when it does happen,
no, there's a lot. I just feel like the rapporteurs don't.
I think the closest one was the Santos Teixeira one, because that was the most easy to predict what was going to happen with that one. But yeah, I could see Derek Lewis catching him with something a bit wild, like a flying knee or something.
And then the crowd goes wild.
He's gonna throw a spinning elbow inspired by Molly McCann from the weekend. he's gonna change his nickname to the Meatball King.
Meatball King.
Okay. Co-main event.
Yeah.
The rematch for the interim title. I don't like interim titles. Interim flyweight title. Brandon Moreno against Kai Kara France. So 19-6-2 for Brandon Moreno, 24-9 for Kai Kara France with 1 no contest. 3-inch height advantage for Moreno. 1-inch reach advantage for Moreno. Striking stats lean slightly towards Kai Kara France, slightly higher output, accuracy, striking defense is better. Of course, the wrestling falls on the side of Brandon Moreno. 1.84 for takedown average per 15 minutes. 47% takedown accuracy, but that's up against a 86% takedown defense on Kai Kara France's side. No submission attempts for Kai Kara France. 0.7 for Brandon Moreno. What are your first thoughts on this one?
I feel this might be a little bit of a challenge for Moreno. Okay. And I don't feel it will be a challenge because of the camp change. I know that plays a big role into how this goes, especially because it's not like he's had a super in-depth conversation with or relationship with James Krause. It was just from seeing him and his fighters come through the pandemic and always being ready. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I love James Krause as a coach. I think he's a phenomenal coach. He is, pays a lot of attention to detail, gives a lot of good, clear instructions that maybe his opponents can hear as well. Mm-hmm. So that might play. But I just think the work ethic that he has and this new approach that he has to MMA, especially competing and being able to offer him something new, something fresh, he'll be able to utilize and do really well in his first time away from his family and becoming the first champion in Mexico. I mean, this guy stays and, they're doing signings and they have to keep him for an extra 2 hours and there's still people that didn't see him.
And maybe he's going to stay and meet everybody as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's an amazing guy, but in Kansas, maybe it won't be as bad. And he would have had a lot more time to prepare and focus on this fight and really go into an analytical mindset, because James Krause has that as well. Mm-hmm. So they'd be able to bounce ideas off each other and kind of maybe raise Brandon Moreno's game. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't show in this fight, I think it will in future fights, because all the athletes that I've seen that have gone to James Krause have all made massive improvements in their fight IQ and the way they move and in the way they think of fights. So, yeah, and he's brought over people from his training camp from before that he's used to training with, like Marcel Rojo, the Argentinian guy, the Mancion as well. This other guy that's competing in Contender Series. So he still has his core group of guys that will make him not feel as much of an outsider, but now not so much of the same commodities of being at home and having all that additional stress.
Yeah. That might be a good thing though for him.
Yeah. I think it will be as well.
The thing is though, is that there's a challenge here for me is that he's not fought anybody else other than Figueiredo since 2020, and Figueiredo's got a very different striking style to Kai Kara-France, and his striking output, Brandon Moreno's, in my opinion, has improved since the last time he fought Kai Kara-France, and I think his confidence has grown in his striking as well. Mm-hmm. But then I don't know whether that might play into Kai Kara-France's game, because we're not going to expect Kai Kara-France to try and grapple and wrestle with Moreno. And if you go back to the first fight, so I think it was pretty clear that Kai Kara-France won the first round. I think he was more effective, scored a knockdown in that first round. But then the second and third round, Moreno was able to put more pressure on him, land more strikes, started landing that head kick on the end of his combinations as well, but didn't wrestle at all. Not at any point did he try and grapple with him. And I think that Moreno this time around, it would be smart for him to add grappling into his game this time around. I don't know whether he's going to be more confident because he outstruck him in the second and third round last time, and now his striking's better than it was since their first fight. But then, as you said, Kai Kara-France has improved as well, and I think his striking power has been proven, a couple of times in his last 3 fights, hasn't it?
Yes. But he does fight the hands real well. I think Brandon Moreno probably will be able to get his back in a situation because he has had his back taken. He gives it up a little bit.
Took his back, didn't he?
Bontarine.
Oh, Bontarine, yeah.
Bontarine took his back, and although Bontarine is, extremely strong and very well developed in the jiu-jitsu aspect, the way Brandon Moreno finished Deiveson Figueiredo to win the belt with that submission was absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. He set it up like psychologically as well as trapping hands and making frames to where Figueiredo was like, "You idiot," and then he got caught in it. So Brandon, I feel, is very aware of the way that Kai Kara-France fights hands. And he's very aware that the power and the danger that he faces fighting him because of that right hand. But I feel like if he uses that wrestling and if he keeps using those kicks, he'll be able to, win again. Because for me, what the kicks did was stop... I'm just going to call him France because his whole name's too damn long for me to be repeating it. It would stop France from throwing that right hand. Because you're choosing, do I block this or do I counter? Mm-hmm. And if you're in the wrong angle, right? If you think you're in the correct space to counter, but you're in the wrong angle, you're going to get head kick knocked out. You have to be very aware. You have to be either a lot closer or off to an angle. And if you're not, it's very dangerous. So you kind of always, he always was interrupted because Brandon would finish with a kick, which also created a lot more space. Mm-hmm. Because if I can touch you with my leg, then you're not in that knockout power. And if you're coming, I can see it more. It's kind of like shooting from a distance. So that being added to the game was very intelligent for me because it was pace, but it was keeping the distance using his kicks. Mm-hmm. But this being a 5-round fight, Brandon's come off a whole bunch of 5-round fights. You know, that's all he's been doing. So it's not something that's...
Kai's never been 5 rounds, has he?
Yeah.
So which way are you going? You going with Brandon Moreno?
Yeah, I'm going with Brandon Moreno.
Do you think you can stop him? Do you think he can sub him?
I think he subs him maybe 3rd round.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Kai's been stopped. I think he's been knocked out twice and he's been subbed 3 times, I think, in his losses. But then, people ebb and flow in their career, and he certainly has he's certainly developed in the last couple of years. Like his back defense against Bontarine and Askarov were impressive. To beat Askarov by decision is very impressive. it doesn't surprise me that he knocked Garbrandt out, but it surprised me that he stood and traded with Garbrandt, knowing how powerful he is.
Yeah. And Kai Kara-France has also started working with this breathing instructor that Israel Israel trains with, and all of the guys at City Kickboxing started to train with. And the whole thing is about, using cold therapy and breathing works to be able to not only control your output and your energy, but keep calm during stressful situations. And I think that's what has helped him, because this will be the 4th time that he's been working with him. And we see a massive improvement in his confidence, his belief in himself. And that has shown in the fight. Because sometimes I see fighters that, man, they have this confidence that I'm just like, where you get that from? And they're able to do fantastic things because of this confidence. It's sometimes people with like really good skills aren't able to do it because they just lack it, and it's just that tiny millisecond that you're missing to be able to, that you're away from something spectacular. And if you believe in yourself, you have that commitment to fully go for it, and I feel like now he does. So this is going to be a much tougher fight for Brandon, although the first one was tough already, and it was a great fight.
So you think Brandon does it then?
Yeah, I think Brandon does it.
Yeah. I think he wins a decision. I think he's going to have Kai Kara-France's back a couple of times, but I think Kai's back defense has improved a lot. And we'll see. I mean, obviously Moreno's got great neck attacks, but I can see this one being a hard work 5 rounds. Okay, main event. So, the rematch for the women's bantamweight title. Julianna Peña against Amanda Nunes. So, 12-4 for the defending champion Julianna Peña, 21-5 for the former champion Nunes. A 2-inch height advantage for Nunes, but the reach is the same. Higher striking output, higher striking accuracy, higher striking defense. Slightly more on the takedown average for Amanda Nunes as well, but only very, very marginal. But 82% takedown defense compared to 22% for Julianna Peña. So the first fight, I think we can agree that Nunes won the first round. She dropped her a couple of times. She got tangled up a little bit on the floor, but was never really in any danger. She just wasn't able to mount much of an offensive because she was in Kimura traps and that kind of thing. And then the second round she came out, and I mean, in my opinion, she just acted like she was going to knock her out this round. So it was like she was just trading power shots. She kept getting stung with the jab, and then she seemed to fade very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And then got backed up against the fence, taken down, choked out.
Yeah. This fight is very interesting. It's very interesting because of all the things that were in play the night that the fight happened. I feel like it's like Clue, that you're trying to find out the murder.
Yeah.
As if you think about it, it was Kayla Harrison there. She hadn't signed anything, right? It was like the setup. Like Julianna was just a setup for her to fight, Kayla, and it'd be this giant money fight. But Kayla's in the same ATT team. There's apparently talks about, like information being leaked, which doesn't surprise me at all. It's, it's a big team. If you're going for the belt,
But Nunes had left at that point, hadn't she? She'd already left.
No, I think she was still there.
Was she?
Yeah, she was still there because ATT was in her corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
she's left now, though, hasn't she?
Yeah, no, she's left now. She's opened up her own gym and stuff. But, going into that fight, apparently she had a knee injury as well. So she was kind of working through it in the way that I'm just so much better than you that I'm not going to take you as serious of a threat as I possibly or as I should. And that comes with having 7 first-round finishes and 12 consecutive wins. What I found interesting in this fight, if we take all of that aside, which is like the mentality and her, the new gym and all of that, take all that aside, if we look into the fight, or that this is at least my opinion, in the first round, I mean, Amanda just controlled the whole thing. It can she knocked her down twice within 90 seconds and then already had a takedown and had her back. But when she was going for a choke, Julianna was kind of going for like this awkward straight arm lock that you're not going to get it.
No.
But it's like, it's annoying. It's uncomfortable. Something that Amanda might have been like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Just slowed it down though, didn't it?
Yeah, it's unorthodox. And then she turned to her and was trying to go for this Kimura. that she did a great job at putting in her butterfly hook to really threaten a sweep or something, which I felt Amanda could have, what do you call doing this move?
Limp leg.
Yeah. Or like limp arm, her arm the other way.
Oh, it was her arm, you mean?
Yeah, because with the Kimura, she could have done that. Because if we saw the way she took her back in the first round, she used this hook to then make Julianna turn to the back. So I don't think that she doesn't have better grappling, if that makes sense.
I just think she gave up. I mean, Julianna Peña's hooks weren't even close to being in when she was already tapping.
I don't think she was under the neck either. But anyway, second round, she goes to her stool, and then she's like, oh, she's going for that neck, right? So, like, in the half guard, when you're going up, you can go for the choke. Oh, she's going for that neck. And the corner's like, listen, stop with that Kimura. Just focus on your fight. Just keep pressuring. This is what you want. This is what you want. So that seemed to me like the game plan that people have when they fight Cyborg. It's just like, take a whole bunch of punches because you're going to tire her out and we're going to beat her that way.
The Homer Simpson game plan.
Yeah, like a lot of people have that, right? So then the second round started, and then Amanda's going forward with this I'm going to knock you out pressure, and Julianna is just turning slightly with her angle. So that when she's hitting her, Amanda is kind of on her back heels. And she's connecting first but going second. So Amanda's kind of building up because it's just like, oh, I didn't hit you this time. I'm going to hit you, you know? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when you're trying to whack a fly and you're really mad at it. You start whacking even more, like even harder. But Julianna just kept, I don't know if she meant to do it or if it just kind of happened, but every time she was just circling slightly towards that power side, but since she was landing first, it was interrupting Amanda's attacks. Mm-hmm. So she was able to land her own offense, to which Amanda was getting a bit disheartened and throwing with even more intention, more power. Mm-hmm. And maybe in her head, it started the, shit, I didn't have full training camp. All these people talk shit. Oh my God, what's going on? Kayla's over there, you know, and that might have started to play into attack. And then Julianna started getting the better strikes because I feel she had a better angle. Because I don't think she's as strong. And if we look at the Cyborg fight with Amanda and, Cyborg, it's the same but the opposite. If I feel like if you just look at the footwork on where they're at, Cyborg was Amanda in that situation, and Peña was Amanda. And she was able to get the knockout. Like, I know it finished differently, but that able to, like, intercept the punches and going towards the power side to get a better angle is what she used against somebody who has so much confidence that they're just going to knock you out.
Mm-hmm. So do you think she can beat her again?
No.
So you think Nunes wins?
Yes, it a little bit worries me how much media Julianna Peña's done.
What about the fact that Nunes has started her own gym though, and she's not got, like, her normal setup?
Yeah, but that might be a good thing. She's gotten to a point in her career when, I mean, maybe some of the coaches would just have you do the same thing, and it just becomes a routine, and you're just like, oh, I'm sick of it. And everybody keeps asking her, how do you have this motivation? How do you keep going? And maybe this is something that, like, revives her. It can also be a danger. Maybe there's not as many people to push her, but I don't feel like she needs that anymore. A lot of these top fighters that have already had so many fights are starting to not even spar, you know, because they're like, I already know how to fight. You know, like Yair isn't sparring anymore. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that she's not sparring. I'm just saying that when you've been through so much already and learned so much already, maybe what you need is something different than what somebody coming up needs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've just talked this whole time.
So which way are you going? Nunes?
Yeah, I'm going with Nunes.
How?
Maybe she chokes her.
You reckon? Yeah. What, to make a point?
Yeah, to make a point. She's probably worked on it a lot, and it's the talking point of Julianna Peña, like that she would be able to out-grapple her. Mm. But Amanda had her back in the first round. I know she lost, but if we look straight at the grappling, she was doing a fantastic job, and she was winning these exchanges before I feel she kind of just had enough of the fight. Mm.
I think she's going to start steady and try and get Julianna Peña to attack her and use her kicks this time around. Mm. Lead low kick, front kick to the midsection and try and use that side-to-side movement because Peña is so flat-footed. I feel like if Nunes decided she wants to out-kickbox her, she could have done, but she just invested too much in trying to knock her out in that second round. And I think her takedown defense is good enough to, well, I mean, every time Julianna Peña ties up, she should be able to reverse it. The fact that she was taken down was more that she was exhausted than anything. Like, if you watch the takedowns that she defended against Sarah McMahon, who's a very, very strong wrestler, when she's fresh, she's got good balance and good strength and good awareness. She just had enough at that point by the time Peña started to take her down.
And Sarah had Julianna Peña's back as well.
Yeah, but then Julianna Peña took Sarah McMahon down when Sarah got tired in the third round. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of... the sign is that if Nunes doesn't win the first round, then most likely Peña's odds get better each round the fight goes on. But I think Nunes is going to start off steady to kind of manage her energy in that first round and probably stop her in the second this time around.
Yeah. It's just that, like, just being so eager to finish that you
TKO
end up,
as well.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna want to try and hurt her. Yeah. All right.
All right. All good.
Okay. All right. So we're going the same way for the main event, but I think she's going to beat her up, and you think she's going to sub her.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick pick. What's your fight of the night?
Fight of the night. It's hard for it not to be Brandon Moreno when he's on the card.
Right. But then Pantoja against Perez.
Yeah, that's the other one. And they're going to try and make a point, like, I'm next for the belt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, Figueiredo's not fighting. He's asking for $1 million. That's why there's an interim fight. Says that he's injured, but...
If he was one of the Nelt boys, he'd be a quarter of the way there by now. So which way are you going? So what you're saying, Brandon Moreno?
Yeah, Kaikar France. They're both going to put on they're going to carry this card.
Well, I'll stick with the flyweights, but I think Pantoja Perez is going to be a banger. Okay, all right. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the fights, and we'll see you next time.